And now joining us, Representative Jan Schakowsky from Illinois. Representative Schakowsky, thank you so much for joining us on the air.
Well, thank you.
I want to ask you about, of course, what do you expect from Barack Obama's speech tonight? Do you think that he's going to support strongly and unequivocally the public option, or is he just going to say nice words about it but not draw a line in the sand?
Well, I think we're going to be pretty happy about the what he says about the public option, but I don't have to guess on some of it. I know that one of the lines that I love on the excerpts that they sent to us, I am not the first president to take up this cause, but I am determined to be the last. And he talks a little bit about history, Teddy Roosevelt, and on up to today. And what you're going to see is the Barack Obama I know, the guy that has some steel at his center, and saying, we have to do it now. The time of debating, that was nice this summer, and now we're going to have to close the deal.
Representative, can we agree that the response so far has been far too soft, that as he continues to reach out in a bipartisan manner, and it's not just Barack Obama, it's also Congress, and it's also the progressive groups that are out there supposed to be fighting back, that we let them swift vote on so many issues, including the death panels and government takeovers, etc.?
No, I don't think so. I think that the media has characterized what I think represents maybe 5 or 10% of the American people, maybe not even that, who have been encouraged and coached by the special interests to not only disrupt but try and shut down town hall meetings and really shut down health care. Yes, there's a lot of people who have questions about all this, but the Republicans have been telling lies. I think the media has been very soft on them and not calling them on the lies, acting as if that those are credible, that's one side of the story, and then the Democrats tell another. When you lie about death panels, I think it's everybody that's got to say, this is just false. It's not a real debate. You can't argue that the world is flat and then say, well, that's one side of the story. But it isn't.
No, I understand that, but Representative Schakowsky, polls are now showing that a significant percentage of the population believes I would say on the Gallup poll, just to summarize the poll, about 50% of the country believes 3/4 of those myths. So doesn't it fall upon the Democrats to have done a better job in fighting back against those and not just assuming that people
You know what?
Honestly,
I do think that, yes, we've got to fight back, but I really do think that the mainstream media also has a responsibility not to play he said, she said, but to call something out when it isn't true. That's what objective analysis is. And I think that they're just so interested in just a fight and a brawl that they have really let the American people down and let their own profession of journalism down.
All right, so let's go back to the public option for a second. We're talking to Representative Jan Schakowsky from Illinois. Will you vote for a bill without a public option, or is that your line in the sand? If there is no public option, you will not vote for it?
Listen, my bargaining position right now is that without a robust public option, I won't pass I won't vote for the legislation. If there were some other way to do real competition that would bring about cost containment and hold the insurance companies in line, I'd be open to hearing it. I don't think there is one. I think this is the only way to do it. And I feel confident that we're going to hear that from the President tonight. We've heard it in our caucus this morning from Nancy Pelosi and all the other leadership. We heard a number of members, Democrats, who now say that they've gone home and they have come back in favor of a public option. I think we're gonna have one. I think it will be a strong one, and I think the architecture will be in place for the kind of serious reform that we want.
Well, the administration has been signaling for close to a week now, up until about today, that they were going to let it go, that they really cared about the public option, but golly gee willikers, they wanted to put everything on the table. And then, in the meanwhile, people got the smoke signals. Ben Nelson bailed on it, Mike Ross bailed on it, and there was a report in either the Hill or Roll Call saying 23 other Blue Dog Democrats bailed on it. Is it too late to bring those guys back into the fold if he makes a strong case for
No,
public
it's not,
now?
and we don't need to have we don't even need to have all the Democrats. But I think at the end of the day, we're going to see very strong Democratic support for a bill that's going to have a public option. I think even those some of the people now who are saying they won't vote for it, I think actually will in the end. And also, I don't totally agree with you that the White House has been signaling that they're going to drop it. People are hanging on every single word. I have pretty much heard from the beginning that they believe that the best way to hold the insurance industry accountable and to lower costs is through a public option. I think that the White House has been trying to talk about other things, like the fact that you can't not get insurance because you have a pre-existing condition. You can't lose your insurance. If you lose your job, you'll be able to have insurance. They've been trying to talk about some of the other big picture items, and I think every time they want to talk about those, in addition to the public option, it's viewed as, oh, they're backing away. So
No, that's not the reason why. To be fair, the reason why is they say, oh, it's a valuable tool, it's a good tool, but when they're asked if it's essential, they don't say it's essential. And
I understand they're not.
You know politics.
But you know what? I understand they're not wanting to draw lines in the sand while negotiations are still going on. In fact, negotiations in many ways are just getting...
But can I ask, who are we negotiating with? Because the Republicans draw lines in the sand all the time, and then they move the lines in the sand, and then they still don't vote for it. So who are we negotiating with?
Well, we have to get three committees in the House together. So it's really the Democrats that are that's the wrong word, but we're going to have to work together to blend the bills. The Senate is going to have to work together to blend the bills, and so this is work that the Democrats have to do. I agree, though, that we shouldn't be negotiating with ourselves. We shouldn't be backing up on our own plans, having seen no movement on the Republican side. So I'm with you on that. That we don't want to be backing away when we are seeing nothing but a clenched fist as opposed to an open hand on the Republican side.
Is the caucus on the House side aware that the Republicans have stated on the record that their aim is to water down the bill as much as humanly possible and then to vote against it, and with a weaker bill then turn around and go, see, it didn't work?
Give the president a little bit of credit here for understanding exactly what's going on. I know Barack Obama for a long time, and I think people, are looking to are underestimating him right now in the Steely Center that he has, and I think you're going to hear that tonight. That he is not going to put up with it any longer. He tried. I think it's good that he tried. I think the American people need to see that the people that are that want to bring down health care are the Republicans and these the Looney Tunes who have been aiding them and shouting and mean and nasty stuff at town meetings. That's who they are. That's who they are standing with right now. So, but you're going to hear the president saying, "Okay, it's over now. Now we have to get down to business. We need to pass the bill, and I think we need to, and I think he does too, pass it in the next month or two."
Finally, Representative Schakowsky, if the bottom line comes out that you guys in the House wind up passing a bill with a strong public option, or relatively strong, and the Senate passes a version with the trigger, and then we know what Rahm Emanuel is going to argue. He's going to say trigger, 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 and Barack Obama is convinced by Rahm Emanuel, and then they come back to you and say the final bill has a trigger for a public option 5 years down the road. Do you vote yes or no?
The trigger will not work. It's a ridiculous proposal to say that there's no trigger. They've had like 50 years of trigger right now to prove themselves able to have a reasonably cost product that gives Americans health insurance, and they have failed to do that. I think that is not an option that's going to get votes in the Senate. I think people will see that that's the case. So I'm more optimistic that we're going to have something better than that come out of the Senate, and at the very least, we're going to have something better than that. No triggers come out of a conference committee. You know,
so no way it comes out of the House.
I don't see a trigger bill coming out of the.
No, I mean the final version. Like if they bring you the final version, you vote no.
I think we get it out. I plan to vote yes on a bill that has a strong public option. You know, it's not a matter of getting. Look, I'm not going to. My goal isn't to get a minority of members in the House to vote no, so that we just don't have a bill. My goal is to get a strong public option in a bill that I can go vote yes on. I think we are heading in that direction. So, you know, let's not be martyrs here, that I'm gonna go down on my sword. Let's be more optimistic and say we can fight for, because it's the practical thing to do, a strong public option. That's what we have to sell to the American people, so they can sell it to their members of Congress, and so that we can win. That's the job of progressives and Progressive Talk Radio and everybody else, to say we can have the bill that we want. This isn't a matter of getting people to say, I'll vote no. This is a matter of getting enough people to say, I'll vote yes.
All right. Representative Jan Schakowsky, strong and optimistic. Thank you for joining us on the Young Turks.
Thanks.
All right.